So I'm a woman of purpose, a woman of faith, and my journey has really been an interesting journey. And I'm just, as a woman of faith, I'm very grateful to God for just the gifts and talents and the ability to speak to people and pour into people's lives and to share my story and to empower people, whether in the marketplace or whether in corporations or in my everyday life in professional space. I'm able to just be who I am. And if we're talking about the I Start and Finish brand, it started in 2012. That's when it started, but it was before that actually, because I keep saying to people that when you have to identify patterns in your life and you have to identify the path that you walk on. So for I Start and Finish, it started out as a blog. It started out as a place where I needed a place where that would describe everything that concerns me. Because for over 20 years, I realized more than 20 years ago that I had a gift, that I have a gift of exhortation. I realized that I have a gift to empower people, to encourage people. So I was writing devotionals. This is more than 20 years ago. I was writing devotionals. I was sending emails to my little circle, my little network, my little group. I was even shy sending those emails, just encouraging them for the day and just telling them that it's going to be okay. Whatever you're dealing with in life, it's going to be okay. That there's always a solution, that it's not the end of the world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I was doing all those things, putting them in emails. And after a while, I started doing those devotionals online. And I started and finished. I sat down one day, 2012, and I said, you know what? I do IT. I do different things. That was more than 20 years ago. And I was like, I need a space that when people hear my name, they will know that this is where to go and check for Belinda Enoma. I wanted to define who I am, not for society to define me. I wanted to be in control of my own definition, not society to put me in a box and say, oh, today you're doing this, or today you're doing that, or people describe you in one way. So I start and finish. And how it came about was because I sat down and I thought about the underlying message in everything that I had been doing, in the emails that I had been sending, and the devotionals I'd been writing, and the communications and all of that fancy stuff. I thought about it and I was like, the underlying message that I've been saying for many years, and it hasn't changed today, it's still the same message, is do not quit. Do not quit. Do not give up. Because life is going to throw darts at you. Things are going to happen. Curveballs. You're going to encounter all kinds of things, unexpected things. How do you manage those things? How do you rise up from those things? How do you deal with being laid off? How do you deal with unexpected illness or the loss of a loved one? How do you deal with those kinds of things? How do you handle those things? Because it's very easy to give up. So I thought about it and I was like, the underlying message in my emails, my devotionals, and everything I've been talking about for years is do not give up, do not quit. So I thought about it. I said, I always tell people, you can finish, start, you got to start, you got to finish. That's how it came about. So for anybody listening to me right now and thinking, okay, yeah, you have to think about patterns in your life. You have to think about the underlying factor. What describes you? When people think about you, what's the first thing that comes to mind about you? Do they feel that, oh, yeah, I've got to be around her because she's just light. Everything about her is light. Or do they feel, oh no, don't even bring her name. Don't even talk, but don't even mention her name. I don't even want to know anything. Just stay away from me. I don't even want it because I don't want to be sad today. I don't want to have any negativity today. You don't want that kind of description. And you don't want people to define you and say, oh, she's all over the place. She doesn't know what she's doing. You don't want that. You have to have structure in your life. So at that point, I needed a way to put everything that describes me in one platform. And I started with what I knew best to do, which was writing. At that time, I started using what I knew was easy for me to do, which is hard for a lot of people to write. But for me, it was easy. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I know how to do. And it's just going to be easy. And I just did it. And because I had the tech background, I built the website. I did everything myself, everything. So I was like, oh, okay, we can do this. It wasn't like I wasn't at that point, I wasn't really bold doing it, but I knew that I had to do it because people were relying on me to release my gift. And that's one of the things I put in my book, assigned, that you people are connected to your destiny. And if you don't release the solutions that you have within you, you're creating a disservice to those who are assigned to you because they need you to say yes so they can say yes. They need that from you. But if you hoard the gifts that you have, if you hoard the expertise, the talents, the knowledge, and all these wonderful things that can set somebody else free, you're creating a disservice to the society, to the community, to those who are assigned to you. So it's the same thing even in the business world. When you have like solutions that you've got to release and you're still sitting on them, somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is going to do it and may even do it better than you. So why not you? Just do it now and don't delay. So, in a nutshell, that's the little background description. Okay, so for a little bit of background, I didn't practice law. I have the law background, but I didn't practice law. But I pivoted into tech, into IT. And for a little bit of background, when I pivoted into IT, now before I even say that, sometimes we hear that people pivot because they're bored and like I've got to do this, I've got to do that. This is what's trending now. We've got to make this shift. We've got to do that. Sometimes people pivot out of necessity. People pivot out of desperation. Sometimes people pivot, they shift direction because they have no choice. So for me, I pivoted into IT because this was many years ago, more than 20 plus years ago. I pivoted into information technology because I was at the point where I was frustrated. I was frustrated because I wasn't getting the kind of income that I wanted to get. I was frustrated. So I was like, you know what? People are doing this IT thing. People doing it. I don't think IT is rocket science. Come on, people doing it. And from a background where all you know is studying cases and work upon cases and all that fun stuff in the legal industry, to now go into programming, learning how to program and doing all that. And I did it. I connected with people who were already in the field and I asked them questions. Close friends, I asked them questions. How do you do this stuff? How did you get into it? What is it that I can learn to get into this industry? What can I do to get in there and earn the kind of money you guys are earning? You're making money, so what's going on? I need to be in there as well. I need to do something. So they gave me directions, and I went and I studied self-taught programming. I did it. So going into how to start and finish the year intentional with intention, your mindset has to shift. You have to shift your mindset and say, something's got to give this year. That's for those who last year didn't go as they wanted it to go. Because like you mentioned before, you said that some people with momentum, things are going fine from last year and they just want to keep going, keep going. That's fine. I'm going to get to those people. Right now, I'm going to those who last year did not go the way they planned it to be, and they want something to change this year. So you're watching me, you're listening to me right now. You want to change, you want a shift this year. So you've got to be intentional. You've got to make up your mind and say, I refuse to be in this same spot this year. I refuse to stay in stagnation. I refuse to walk around like a confused person who doesn't know what he or she's doing, what they're doing. I refuse to be in a spot that nothing is happening. I refuse to stay that way. You have to shift that mindset, change the way you think. Once you do that, everything else can follow because we can talk from today to tomorrow. And if the person's mindset hasn't shifted, you're wasting your time. So what is important is you have to change the way you think. And one way of changing the way you think is, for example, listening to powerful people like Energetic EJ, for example, listening to this show. Yeah, that's one way. Going into events, conferences, and connecting with people that will uplift your spirit and remove yourself from destiny destroying circles. Remove yourself from people who will drag you down and all they talk about is negativity. They don't talk about anything that's going to elevate your life from the moment you walk in there or you join the group. In fact, some WhatsApp groups, I'm going to say this, some WhatsApp groups are detrimental to your destiny. You got to flee without looking back. Flee, flee from those WhatsApp groups, because the moment you get in there and you see all kinds of stuff in there, your spirit is troubled. You're troubled. The stuff that you planned to do before, you're not going to do it because now your focus is, you're distracted. You're distracted from your goals. You're distracted from things that's supposed to elevate you. You're distracted from them because you're connected to all sorts of things. So part of shifting your mindset is making a decision today that if you are in some circles that are not uplifting, if you're in circles that are not elevating, if you're in circles that are dragging you down, they're not going anywhere. You have been saying since last year that you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to learn AI, you want to do these things, but you're not in circles where people are learning those things. You're not in circles where people who already, they've already achieved the level that you want to achieve in. You're not in those groups. Instead, you're in the complaining group, the grumbling circle. You got to take yourself out of those kind of places if you want to elevate this year. How to start and finish the year with intention. Part of it is changing your mindset, removing yourself from, I'm going to repeat it, destiny destroying circles. Because believe it or not, it affects your destiny. And what you do today is going to affect how the year is going to be. So we have to make that decision. It's a conscious effort that, listen, I refuse to stay in this circle anymore. And don't feel guilty about it, because sometimes we remain because we don't want to offend anyone. We're like, oh, I don't want to leave because they'll say, oh, why did she leave? What's wrong with her? She thinks she's doing this, she's doing that. I don't care. Leave. This is your destiny. Leave that circle that's not benefiting you in any form. It's not benefiting your purpose. It's detrimental to your purpose. And the more you stay there, you're wasting your precious time, and you do not have time to waste. And that's part of what I teach with I Start and Finish, because it morphed from the blog to a global movement, where empower people in different places across different countries, and telling people that the way you start will determine how you finish. You have to be really intentional about it, because listen, all of us, right? We have a start date, which is our birth date. We have a finish date, which is our end date in this life on earth. The middle, because you've got a dash, a hyphen in the middle, your birth date to end of life date. What happens in that dash, in that middle? What happens in that middle? That's crucial. And that's where we are right now, because we're alive. So we've already started. So what happens right now is very crucial. So the mindset, like I said, and we kind of underestimate the power of being in negative circles. They are really detrimental. You will not believe. They're really detrimental. In fact, there are some people who are close to you. Someone's listening to me. There are some people who are close to you that should not be close to you. You've given them the front seat of your life, and they don't deserve to be there. And they're detrimental to you because of manipulation, because of all kinds of things. I tell you, one of my most read blog posts, and I wrote this many years ago, more than 10 years ago, till today. One of my most read, and people continue to reach out to me about it, is how to discern the spirit of manipulation. That's one of my most read blog posts. And every time I go and look, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I even write in this thing? It's one of the most popular, most visited. How to discern the spirit of manipulation. So you have to really understand that manipulation plays a big role in why a lot of people do not finish what they need to finish, because of distractions. And also because of who we're connected to. Who you're connected to can either uplift you or destroy you. So we have a choice. I could talk about this all day, but mindset is one. Absolutely. So when I said the way you start is is how you're going to finish, is the mindset. I'm still talking about the mindset. The way you start it and is how you finish is still your mindset. Because if you operate with a positive mindset, no matter how much struggle you encounter, no matter how much frustration and heartache and whatever it is that can pull you down, but if you operate with a positive mindset, if you operate with a faith-filled mindset, You walk around knowing that nothing can shake you. That's what I mean by the way you start is how you finish. So if you are walking with a faith filled mindset, no matter what is thrown at you, you are going to push, you're going to press to the finish line. You're not going to quit, you're not going to give up. That's exactly what I mean by that. Because a lot of times, listen, life can do some serious damage, things can happen, and people are going to quit and say, I can't do this anymore. But you have to really be determined and say, you know what? Yeah, I can't do this anymore, but I know I can do it. I start and finish. I can do this thing. I can. And then you rise up. And then when you connect with the right people and you listen to people who uplift your spirit, suddenly you jump up and say, I can do it. I don't have to quit. So that's what I mean by the mindset is crucial. There's something else. There's something else is really big. Something else that you need to really do is to activate your audacity to become. Activate. You have to activate your audacity to become who you're supposed to be. Activate your audacity to become who you're supposed to be, because a lot of times we're afraid of launching out. We're afraid of what people are going to say about us. We're afraid of what society will say about us, whatever it is. But if you want to start and finish this year with intention, then you've got to have the audacity to say, audacity to release yourself. You have to have the audacity to release your sparkle, audacity to shine your light against all odds. You have to do that. So, anybody listening to me, watching this today, apply the audacity to become who you're supposed to be. You know who you are, but life has thrown you, it's given you curveballs, it's dealt with you, but you haven't done what you're supposed to do because you think you're not qualified. You think you're not good enough. You think you're too old. Lots of people saying, I'm too old. I can't do it anymore. Let the kids handle that. I can't do it. You're not too old. Get up and help yourself. Apply the audacity to become who you're supposed to be. You're not too old. You got to shine that light and release your sparkle. I say this to a lot of women. I say, you're beautiful. You exude light. Release the light. Shine brightly. Let the world see you. Let us know what you can do. This is not the time to hide. 2026, you're not hiding. It's not the time to hide. You've hidden enough. Come out. Shine brightly for maximum impact. That's what I say. Because there's some people like, oh, I don't want to do this because I don't want people to say, oh, she's too much, she's too that. I said, listen, darling, there are people who are assigned to your level of brightness. So when you turn it up, let it shine brightly. And there are people who need that level of brightness and say, come on, girl, shine. I need it. That's it. So don't be bothered about that. Go all out. Go big, like they say, go big or go home. See that you're going to do it or you're not. But I want to encourage you to do it because I know that you're qualified to do it. And do you know why I believe that a lot of people, you're qualified to do it, qualified to shine, you're qualified to release your sparkle, and you're qualified to have the audacity to become who you're supposed to be because God has already equipped you with what you need. You have it in you already. You just need somebody to tell you, come on, you can do it. Come on. And that's what I'm saying now. You can do it. Have the boldness to do what you got to do. You got to be brave. You got to do it. I told you before when I started writing the devotionals and I start and finish. I launched I start and finish. It started out as a blog. Initially, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really going out there now. Because anybody could just Google this and just see this, my posts. And what if people don't like it? I'm like, I don't really care. It's either it's for you or it's not for you. Keep it moving. It's either it's for you or it is not for you. Keep it moving. So you have to have that audacity to become who you are supposed to be. I launched I start and finish because I needed a place that would describe me. Because It didn't exist because I needed to be in control. I needed to define it, not society define me. So I'm saying this to somebody now. You have the audacity to become who you need to be. If you can't find what you need, build it, create it. You're qualified for it. Don't sit there and dwell in frustration and say, I can't even do it. I can't even do it. You can do it. The people who are doing it, they're not smarter than you, but they're doing it. The difference is they did it. That's the difference. You've got to have the courage to do it. Well, we're talking about finishing because it is crucial. And it's not just about finishing. You want to finish with excellence. You want to have a flourishing finish because you can just finish and then you're like, you know, you want to have an excellent finish. So if you're in that frame of mind where you're like, I don't know what I need, how I'm even going to start, I don't know. I go to istartandfinish.com, right? I've been doing this for many, many years. Go to istartandfinish.com and lots of articles, lots of materials to help you get off your feet, to help you do what you need to do. Okay? Connect with people like Energetic EJ. Connect with people like me. Connect with, you have lots of resources available to you. There's people listening right now who are saying, oh, you know what, I don't have finances. You don't have to have money to do these things. I tell you, when I started, I didn't have any money, but I needed to do what I needed to do. That's why I keep talking about mindset. If you're determined to make a change, you will. If you are determined to make a change, you will. Nobody will force you. You will know in your spirit that, uh-uh, I can't do this anymore. I have to make a change. You need to know. But there's one more thing before you wrap up our time and all that stuff. One more thing I want people to get, right? To start and finish this year intentionally. One more thing is to mind your business. I knew it was going to make you laugh. You're right. Mind your business. Seriously. Because we get drawn into things that don't concern us. And when you get drawn into things that don't concern you, you're going to lose your focus. For you to finish this year with intentionality, you have to implement focused action. That's what you need to implement focused action. Mind your business. Literally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Mind your business. Spiritually means don't get drawn into things that don't concern you, because when you do that, it's going to get into your spirit, and then you're going to dwell on it, and you're going to even think about it for the whole day. And even you might see it in your sleep. When you're sleeping, you might dream about negative stuff. Mind your business, literally. If you own a business, mind it, take care of it, do what you have to do. Do the work. Mind your business physically. Do the work. Work that business. Mind your business. That's it. Yes, the Corporate Women's Summit is happening in Dubai this month, and it's for women leaders who work in the corporate sector. So it's a very important summit for women to attend, because we're really going to be talking about one of the topics we're going to talk about is the courage to pivot. And this is so crucial, especially now, because a lot of women who have left the workforce, for example, who used to be in corporate. So it's also for not just for women who are currently in corporate, but they're women who have already left and transition, who are thinking, how what do I do next, and how do I apply this courage to pivot that we mentioned before? So it's a very interesting and much needed luxury summit for women in the corporate sector. It's a time for premium networking. It's a time to get strategies that you need for your next level. So if you're in the corporate sector in Dubai and you're watching this, I invite you to be there, to be in the summit January 31st this month. And we'd love to have you in the room, because it's an exclusive room in a luxurious setting, premium networking. This is not, when I say premium networking, I'm not talking about the kind of network you just exchange business cards and that's about it. We want premium networking that can open doors from inside. This is not time wasting summit. Nobody's got time for that. Remember, I start and finish brand. We don't waste time. We get to what we need to get to. We keep it moving. We mind our business and we keep it moving. So I invite you. I want you to be in the room. EJ is going to be in the room. So welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you.